Welcome to the Fizzy and Free Podcast, where we are raising kids, not glasses. Because let's be real, motherhood is chaotic enough without a hangover. I'm Ashley, a sober mom who's been where you are, and trust me, you are not alone. If you're ready to ditch the wine and take back your peace, you're in the right place. Let's do this. Hey there, it's Ashley. Welcome back to the Fizzy and Free Podcast, the show for moms who are interested in raising kids, not glasses. Today, I want to tackle something that is always kind of in the background and haunting us moms. I mean, I assume it haunts you. It haunts me, that's for sure. And that's the myth of the good mom, which I think subconsciously leads to the comparison trap, which is a whole nother issue. But this illusion of a good mom, you know the one I'm talking about. She is patient. She is calm. She never yells. Her kids are involved in all the activities. She's the kind of mom who makes her own granola bars and she labels everything perfectly. Like you could find anything in her pantry without an issue. So she might be a robot. But the fact is, and I spoiled this a little bit before, she's an illusion, okay? She doesn't exist. That version of motherhood is not real, okay? And what we are trying to chase, this illusion, it's causing us to burn out, all right? So let's go ahead and break it down. Why do we even believe in this fantasy version of a mom? And I'm going to say social media, but now as I think about it, I'm also going to say TV moms, right? Okay, so like Mrs. Brady, okay? Now, granted, she had Alice, but that's neither here nor there. But that's even, decades ago, decades before social media. But now social media is like always in our face. So we've got Pinterest with the Pinterest-worthy themed birthday parties with the little teepees for girls' sleepover, and like everybody's got matching monograms, silk pajamas, and all that stuff. Okay. Or like the Instagram highlight reel where this Montessori mom is teaching her toddler how to cut strawberries, like, and calling it a life skill. I'm like, girl, I can't even get my kid to like hold the spoon the right way. So again, I've mentioned this, that it's deeper than just the social media. It's generational, going back decades. So we were raised to believe that a mom's love is quiet, it's selfless, it's ever present. And the word that strikes me the most is selfless, because what that often turns into is identity less. So I remember when I first had kids, I would tell people that I wanted to be the kind of mom who viewed her kids as part of her life, not her whole entire life. You hear moms all the time say, oh, they're my entire world. And I know that that's probably, my view is probably not mainstream, but my responsibility is to raise these human beings and to let them go out and be a productive member of society. So they are a part of my life. And when they leave, I need to still be in touch with who I am. So that whole selfless and identityless, that really strikes a chord with me. And so when we are sleep deprived or we are tapped out, we are overstimulated, and we are just trying to make it to bedtime, having those constant reminders of this good mom, that is not helping us one bit. Okay, so here's what I want to offer you instead. First, I want us to relabel the good mom. And I want us to refer to her as the real mom, okay? Because the second part we need to do is we need to redefine what makes a real mom, okay? She's gonna snap. She is. But she's going to come back to her kids and she's going to talk to them and she's going to apologize afterwards. she's going to let her kids eat Brinner, okay, which is breakfast for dinner, and watch their tablets at the dinner table because she doesn't give two flying you-knows because she's just too tired to care, okay? She has cried in her car more times than she can count, and she, as a real mom, shows up messy and imperfect. She says no, and she means it. She sticks to her guns, all right? And yes, real moms, they love their kids fiercely. Even on those days when they want to run away, all right? I've talked to many moms, real moms, and had very candid, vulnerable conversations where, yes, we do want to run away, but we don't because we fiercely love our kids. So being a good mom, that is not what we're striving for. We're striving to be a real mom because we don't have it all together. We don't need to try and pretend like we have it all together. We are just showing up. Now, let's get real for a second. Showing up, it used to look different for me, okay? There was a stretch of time, this was back when I was still drinking, where this morning chaos would break me at least once a week. There was a good section there where I would have a breakdown probably twice a week. And I'm talking like full-blown toddler meltdown as like a 30-something-year-old woman. One kid would be aimlessly wandering around looking for their shoe, and then like somebody else is crying because I accidentally let the toast get, I swear to you, a half a shade too dark, and now they won't eat it. And on top of that, we're running late. So all of these little tiny things, they add up, and before you know it, I snap. And I'm not just saying like snap. I am telling you like demonic yelling, like from my toes, to the point where sometimes it would hurt my throat. And I would slam doors sometimes. And it was just not some of my finest moments. And I would drop the kids off and I would sit in the car and I would cry because I didn't want to be that way. I didn't want to handle stress that way. And I was convinced I was a terrible mom. I was convinced that I was not meant to be a mom. Like, God made me a mom, but like, love you, God. But I'm really thinking that you didn't mean this for me because I'm just the worst at it. But let's fast forward a few years later when I am no longer drinking. And it is really surprising to me that when I stopped using alcohol to cope, like, and started actually feeling my feelings, it became more clear on how to handle the chaos and the meltdowns and the spirals. So now, without the booze, everything feels, I'm not going to say it's perfect, and I'm not going to say I never lose my cool because that's an illusion. I'm a real mom, real feelings, real emotions, real explosions. Okay. But everything just feels more stable. Okay. It is not as explosive as it used to be. It is not as reactive. And while, yes, I still get frustrated, but I learned to pause. I can take a breath. Sometimes I can even mutter some not so great things under my breath, but I reset. And that prevents me from spiraling out of control, and it stops this rage from boiling up. So sobriety doesn't turn you into a perfect mom. It makes you a present mom, okay? Because you no longer have this substance that you are using to numb all your feelings and your emotions. So I can finally see what I couldn't before, and that is that motherhood is messy. Not that I didn't know, but I think now it's different because I know I can handle it. Okay. I thought alcohol was helping me like clean up the mess of motherhood, but in actuality, it was just making it worse. It was keeping me stuck in the mess. So I want you to take this time to recognize that you don't need to be a perfect mom. All you need is to be present and you need to be real. Your kids don't want some filtered Instagram perfect version of you, okay? They just want you. They want your loving, you're always trying hard, awesome mom self, okay? So if you are tired of doing this alone, I have got you, all right? So if you are tired of this good mom myth and illusion, Flourish is where we rewrite it together. So I have created Flourish, which is my online community, because I needed a space where I could show up as my full, authentic self. And I know that sometimes that's a huge buzzword, but literally, I can show up as the real mom without pretending and without filters and without alcohol. And I know that if you're listening to this, then you probably need this too. So if you're looking for a supportive, no judgment space where we talk real mom stuff and we're not just talking about these Pinterest highlight reels, then head over to the link in the show notes and join the waitlist for Flourish. We are opening the doors soon and I'm so excited and I cannot wait to see your face inside the community. All right, until next time, keep raising kids, not glasses. The Fizzy and Free Podcast is for informational and personal growth purposes only. I am not a doctor, therapist, or medical professional. The information in this podcast is not intended to diagnose, treat, or replace professional medical advice. If you have concerns about your health, mental well-being, or substance use, please consult a qualified healthcare provider.